That wasn't us. Look at that. A bit of a rug there. That's a landlord special. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Hopefully you're all doing well. This morning's job is we've got to change a load of radiators in the upstairs flat. It's the really old stainless steel piping as well, so I'm going to have to, obviously they're the Imperial radiators, so it's not going to line up with the pipework, so I'm going to have to use compression on them. It's all you can sort of do with these, so a little bit of a nightmare job. It's on communal flats as well, so I'm praying that the gate valves hold. We all know they won't, but luckily being upstairs, hopefully I should just be able to drop the pressure and keep everything else going. And what I'm going to do is put a fill loop in that flat. I've worked on these flats quite a bit. This is actually the last one we've got to do. We've left the last till worse now. They're all pretty old, to be fair. All the pipework's old. You just got to be careful not to disturb too much. But yeah, I'm just waiting to get in. I've agreed I can get in at 7:45, so I've got about 10 minutes to wait. What I might do is start carrying the radiators around because we've got a bit of a walk. But yeah, that's Monday morning in a nutshell. Gate valves, stainless steel pipe, you know what plumbing's like, can be troublesome at times, but I'm sure we'll get it sorted. This is what we're up against in here. So I have actually put a lever valve on here at some point because I split all these flats off. So I turn that lever valve off, turn that gate valve off on the return, which has actually held, to be fair. And what I'm going to do is put a fill loop in here. So what I've been doing on the others is taking that auto air vent off, putting a T and then an air valve, and then teeing onto the cold. You see all this is all stainless. Absolute nightmare, this pipe work. Obviously the bits that I've altered in the past aren't stainless, but you see down there, you can see that T above the cold, just had a T soldered on that stainless pipe. Yeah, it's all a bit of a higgledy-piggledy mess, but luckily we had a lever valve on that one, which made that a bit easier. And then it just goes up. See that old vent is actually pressurised. That's all stainless, that vent. So yeah, bit of a nightmare, these ones. But just got this one here. This one will be interesting because obviously it's panelled in. I've actually got a larger radiator. But yeah, you can only do your best with these jobs. I'll get this one sorted. Right, we'll just get this drain down through this radiator because there's no drain off. I've took the air tap out, so I know that's got no pressure in it. And all I'll do is connect a bit of copper onto the valve, straight out to the drain. Right, just a bit of hose, a bit of copper. That valve is actually passing a little bit, so we'll get this hose straight down the stairs and then we'll get that drained, get that rad out. The first one's ready then. Right, I've just chucked my hose in the drain downstairs, so we just run it all the way down the stairs and into there. We'll get this drain now. Open that up and that'll drain. We do have to be a bit careful here because I don't want to disturb too much of the old pipe work. Gives us a bit of control. So this one probably isn't drained because the air tap's broken. So what I'll do is just turn these valves off. Turn these valves off. These are low water content radiators anyway, so there's not a lot of water in them. I'll put my plumb thumbs over. There's no pressure in the system now, and we'll just get this up. The reason I don't want to just crack it is because Jacob's in there working and I don't want to flood him out. So obviously there'll be a little bit of water left in this radiator. Jacob's come to give me a hand. He's a good lad. Now sometimes jobs are easy with two of you when you're working top floor. This one, that's off I think. This one's going to be a little bit tricky. I've gone for a wider one to try and cover over this panelling. Look, I don't know if we'll be able to lift it off, but we'll be able to do something with it. I think I've gone for a slightly taller one, I can't remember. But yeah, we'll get this one off and then we'll have a look at getting the brackets and everything set up. I'll show you how to do them. So always want to hold against yourself, because you really don't want to disturb any of the old pipe. This job's never easy, you're always short for space and everything. So there will be a drop of water in here, but no pressure. That's tight. I don't know if this rod will lift up. That'll be a no. Obviously I'm changing them valves anyway. Oh, that's tight. Struggling to lift the rad up. What it does, it just hooks on these, I think there's three hooks, but obviously because it's so tight to the panelling, it's not lifting up. I'll get this one disconnected. I might be able to pull it out at the bottom and then just swing it forward. I don't want to open that valve yet. I'll take that valve off just because it'll let the water in and it'll flood my mate out in there. There's just no movement on the pipes, they're so tight. Let's just rip that valve off. Get a plumb thumb on it. See, it's all really old stainless steel, so you do have to be careful. See, it looks like copper, but it isn't. It isn't. So we get that plumb thumb on. These are handy. Just make life easier. Let's just put the GoPro down. My hands aren't working today. Just gives you a little bit of control. When you're carrying it downstairs, you're not going to spill anything, and you can use that as a lifter. Not so much on the smaller rads, but the bigger ones does help. I might just be able to swing it out the bottom now. Trouble is, when they've been on years, you do struggle. I'm going to have to multi-tool that off and get that sorted. Hopefully that should give us a little bit of movement we need. Still not enough, is it? Let's get this in now. I think these panels do come off, but I've been on there that long. nearly out. I was trying to do it without disturbing any of the panelling, but you can only do your best. These haven't been off in a few years, you can probably tell. That's why they're not very efficient, but we'll clean the wall up best we can and get the new radiator on. It's a bit wonky, isn't it? Trouble is it's all stainless, so that's what it's been doing before. There's only so much you can do. As always, just give the wall a quick wipe off for the customer, get rid of all the dust and cobwebs. Makes it a little bit nicer, doesn't it? Give that a quick chuck that straight in the rubbish, and then all I need to do is work out my sensors. I think it's a 900 rad I've got going back. I'm not sure how wide the pipes are, but we'd be looking for about 980. You know, it'll nearly go that. It's going to be a touch. Yeah. I'll see if I've got a longer tail in the ground. What I'll do, because we're going to have no movement on the pipes because they're on T's. So what I might do is put a longer. I'll work off this side, this one here. Again, we'll have to keep that compression there just because it's onto stainless. The bit out the top is probably copper. We'll get that nut and olive off. Just with the monument olive cutter. I'm trying to do everything one-handed. I could put the camera down, to be fair. I'm going to need to get the olive off. New nuts and olives, new valves, and then we'll get the radiator hung. Each one's for that. And then I'll work off this pipe across and we'll get this sorted. How I do mine is you just work out the centre of that radiator valve. So however you want to do it. Sometimes put your bracket across and mark that. So that's the centre of my pipe. I measure 25mm down because it's 25mm to the bottom of the rad from the centre of that valve, and then just measure up for the bracket. So that's the easy way. I accidentally mismarked my radiator. So that's my centre, 335 either side. That's the bottom of my radiator. No, that's the centre of my valve. Measure 25mm down and then up the bottom of my bracket. And that's how we do them. And we should be somewhere close there. So I fit these K-rads a lot. The actual screws that they come with are actually real good. They send a washer as well. So all I've done is drilled 4 holes, plugged them. The walls are solid, if not a little crumbly. And we'll get that in there like that. Get that in there like that. And we'll just get that screwed on. Just double check to make sure your rad's level, which it is. And then don't forget your little plastic spacer. Stops the rad from squeaking as it heats up. And makes it a little bit tighter fitting on the brackets as well. So we'll get that on, get them in. Be able to do one-handed. And we will get the rad dropped on and see how the pipes line up then. I still use Loctite 55. I know you can get this rapid blue stuff, but to be honest, I've never had a leak with this. Not when it's used properly. And just put a little bit of jet blue. Wherever my jet blue's gone. Jet blue over the top. You probably shouldn't, but stick to what you know and pop that tail in there. Obviously don't use grips on your chrome surfaces. Can't find my spanner. There's my spanner. Just get that tightened up and we'll get this valve fitted then. I think that'll probably just about go. Right, jet blue is your friend on this sort of job. Plenty around your olive. Some jet blue on there as well. And hopefully if I've got my measurements right, it should go. It's a little bit tight. That's it, that's the best I can do with that one. And then all the rest of the TRVs are horizontal, so I'm going to keep them all the same. It's just because the pipes, if you don't, they're going to end up out like that. As I say, I don't really want to disturb any of this stainless. You know, I could cut it back here, but it's going to be really, really awkward. And then we're going to end up with joints everywhere. So I'll just get that on, connect the other end up, and that one's all done as well. There's not too much I can do about that gap down there. That kind of is what it is. This one just looks weird because the panelling is not fixed. I think the radiator was holding it back before, but again, there's only so much I can do about that. It's sort of all popped off. I did warn the customer that that's how it was sort of going to be, so that's it. All the others will be fine. This one we've got no panelling, so this will be just a straight, more or less a straight swap. We'll just have to alter the pipes, and then that big one under the window, I'll do that one, and Jacob can do that little one. And then all I've got to do is just pop a fill loop in the airing cupboard then. And then we're done. Jacob's done that one, which looks alright. Again, we went wider just to hide it on the panelling, but there's only so much you can do. That wasn't us. Look at that, look. A bit of a rug there. That's a landlord special, that one, isn't it? Yeah, always get any pictures of damage before you start. Obviously the carpet's not the best, we are going to get everything sheeted down, but yeah, you can see what that was. All I've done is managed just to squeeze a fill loop in here, so we've got a gauge, we've got a double check valve on the cold main side. It's a little bit all awkward, but you can sort of see what we're doing, and then we can fill up, we can inhibit everything and get everything done. The pipework's all a bit of a mess, but there's only so much you can do with it. 2 stop taps. You won't get away with doing flats like this anymore, but is what it is on these jobs, unfortunately. It is what it is. See all this all stainless, look. That's what feeds this flat. I've got a flow and a return. Fill loop. Should be fine. Gate valves everywhere, look. Really old stop taps, but at least they work. That was all the money from behind the radiators inside the covers. Always make sure you leave it all for your customer. I'll leave it on there. I know they're the old pound coins, but some people, you know, can get down to the last few quid. So just fill this up to 1 bar, make sure we've got no leaks, bleed everything, and we should be done. And then we can just turn that valve on, and then do a heat test. Yeah, other than that, we're pretty much there. Right then, that's got that job all sorted. I know it's not the best plumbing in the world, but sometimes you can only do what you can do. I'm actually filming this a couple of days later. I've had a massive headache the last few days. I've been at work because I've had too many jobs sort of booked in. I don't like letting people down, but yeah, headache's gone now, but we're at the end of the week. I've not had anything majorly interesting, really. I've just been doing like kitchen taps. I've done some more radiators this week. So nothing fantastically interesting, but the only sort of interesting job, I did a waterboard enforcement one. It was actually it was one of them jobs that's going to stick with you a long while. It was a really sad case, really. Obviously there's been a leak at this property for a while, and if you don't get it sorted, eventually it gets to a point where the waterboard, they won't obviously switch you off a domestic property, but they will send in a plumber like me to go in and sort it. And obviously this has been going on since, well, I can't really say, but it'd been going on a while, and all it was flush valve washer. That's all it was, and all that stress and all that problem was caused by flush valve washer overflowing. Obviously that one's, it was an Armitage Shanks one, that's completely disintegrated. But yeah, like a, what are they, £3.10, whatever they are, 5 minutes to fix, and literally months and months and millions of litres of water wasted. You could, as soon as I walked in, you could hear the toilet filling up. It was literally the ball valve running, and that's all it was that. And it's such a sad situation the person's got themselves into. Obviously they've been really stressed about it, not wanting to let plumbers in and stuff like that, or not wanting to let the water board in to have a look. And it was such an easy fix, and you could see sort of the relief lifted off the shoulders. But yeah, that's jobs like that stick with you a long time. I don't really enjoy them ones when jobs go like that for the water board. But yeah, it was an easy fix for me, but I don't like seeing somebody in that much stress. But yeah, anyway, that one's sorted. I'm just on my way to have a look at another job. If it's interesting, I'll film a bit. If not, this will be the end of the video. Yeah, so thank you for watching. If this one is, I went to another interesting one. I went to change a kitchen tap, and they just had a new boiler fitted. It was an Ideal Logic, and the flue was upside down. I've never seen that before, so I might post a little clip of that. That was interesting. But yeah, one or two interesting bits, but nothing major. So yeah, well, I'll go and have a look at this one, and we'll see what this is. If not, this will be the end of the video. I'm not here to do this boiler flue, but I've just seen it. I just thought, looking upside down, isn't it? Looks like it's off a Logic, but yeah, that's upside down. I'll tell the customer it's sealed. Yeah, upside down. Beautiful.